Hi guys. Sorry I'm not in class today, but I'm on a bus traveling to Sioux Falls with the cross-country team. So we're going to try our first video lesson. So we're just going to take notes like normal, but I'm just not going to be in front of you, and you're just going to copy down what is on the screen, okay? But I guess what's nice about this is you can always pause it if I'm going too fast and replay it if you need to. So today we are reviewing simplifying square roots. So first let's define what is a radical. If you're confused, a radical is just the square root symbol. So it's just another name for a square root. So if you were to see, let's say, the square root of 4, you could either say radical 4 or square root 4. They're interchangeable. I'll use probably both, okay? But just know that this guy right here is the radical symbol, okay? So we are going to practice simplifying perfect squares. So remember, a perfect square is a number that is found by taking two other numbers and multiplying by itself. So if I had like 5 times 5, 25 would be a perfect square because I took the same number by itself and got 25. Okay? So hopefully you've seen these before. I hope this isn't anything super new to you. But we are going to go through and find out what these perfect squares are. If you're totally lost, you can also use a calculator, but I bet you some of these you would probably know offhand. So like the square root of 4, I'm hoping we know is 2, right? Because 2 times 2 equals 4. Number 2, square root of 81 is 9. Because 9 times 9 gets me 81. Root 256. If some of you know your power's up that high, you would know that would be 16 times 16. If not, again, calculators are our best friend in math class. Square root 121 would give me 11, because again, 11 times 11 is 121. To be honest, 324, I would have to use a calculator. I don't know 18 squared offhand, but that is 18. Square root of 324 is 18. Square root of 1, don't forget that 1 is also a perfect square because 1 times 1 is actually 1. Let's see here. Let's scroll a second. I'll just move it. Okay, for these guys, let me erase a little bit here. They look goofy, but really you're just doing the same problem or a problem twice. So this can really be rewritten as a square root of 64 over the square root of 81. And now I just do it twice. So what is the square root of 64? Well, that would be 8. And what's the square root of 81? Well, that is 9. Same thing here. Root 1 over radical 16. Square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root 9 over square root 100. Radical 9 is 3. What times what gives me 100? Well, that is 10. Then our last one on this page here, rewrite as square root 25 over square root 49. What's square root of 25? Well, that is 5. Square root of 49 is 7. So those ones are all pretty straightforward, because if you were to type those in your calculator, you would end up with whole numbers. If you notice, remember, we got whole numbers on all of these. That was 1, that was 11, right? They're all whole numbers. So what happens, well, let's not get ahead of myself. Let's first read this. So it says, to simplify a non-perfect square root, so that's when you would not get a whole number, you need to always list your first 10 perfect squares, because this will help you. So if I were to go through it and list my first 10 perfect squares, what's 1 squared? 1. What is 2 squared? 4. 3 squared? 9. 4 squared? 16. 5 squared? 25. 6 squared, 36. 7 squared, 49. 8 squared, 64. 9 squared, 81. And then 10 squared is 100. So these will be super helpful in these next problems because, like I said again, this is when we'll get some radical that is not reduced to a whole number. So we first need to figure out of these numbers up here, right, our perfect square list, what is the biggest one that evenly goes into 24? Because I want to break 24 down into whole numbers that will help me reduce it. So if you have no idea where to start, it's literally just guess and check. So 24, well, I know I'm looking for numbers that are less than 24, right? Because 25 doesn't go into 24. So now I can literally, my calculator, just type in 24 divided by 16. Does that give me a whole number? No. Okay. 24 divided by 9, does that give me a whole number? No. But if I take 24 divided by 4, what should we get? Oops. We should get 6, right? So I'm going to rewrite 24 as 4 times 6. Because I still know that 4 times 6 is equivalent to just writing 24. Because now, what is a square root of 4? Well, we know that is 2. So that gets to come out of the radical. But do I know what the square root of 6 is? Nope. So now it stays underneath the radical symbol. So that is what I'm left with. Okay, these are kind of goofy. Let's just see how they go. Okay, let's jump over to 12. So again, I'm looking for which one of my perfect squares up there evenly goes into 48. So again, I want to first start with numbers that are less than 48. So that would start me right at 36. Well, I hope we all have enough number sense to know that 36 does not evenly go into 48. So now I'm going to try 25. Nope. 48 divided by 16, does that work? Well, it sure does, because 16 times 3 gives me 48. So instead of having 48 under the radical, I'm going to write 16 times 3, because that's just a different way to write the number 48. Well, what is the square root of 16? Well, I know that's 4. Do I know the square root of 3? Nope. So it has to stay under the radical. So 4 root 3 is a simplified version of square root 48. Okay, let's try 72. Again, you start with numbers that are less than 72 on our list. 64 doesn't work, 49 doesn't work, but what is 72 divided by 36? Well, that should give me 2. So 36 times 2 actually gives me 72, which is perfect. So again, I'm going to rewrite 72 as 36 times 2. What is the square root of 36? Well, we know that is 6. We don't know the square root of 2, so that is left under the radical. And then the process repeats. So square root of 90. I got to think of what perfect square goes into 90. Again, it's just a guess and check. If you have no idea, just type it in your calculator until you get whole numbers. 64 doesn't work, 49, 36, getting no's, no, no. Well, what's 90 divided by 9? 10. So I know 9 times 10 equals 90. So again, instead of writing 90, I'm going to rewrite it as 9 times 10. Well, what's the square root of 9? 3. Do we know the square root of 10? No. So our simplified version is 3 radical 10. Hope you're feeling okay. Are we doing okay, guys? I wish I could see your face so I can know if we are getting this or not. Okay, flip it over. We got some more to try. These ones get a little more interesting because they're a little bit larger. Usually when things end in a 5, I always try to think of quarters or 25. Does 25 go in there? It sure does. How many times does 25 go into 175? 7 times, because 25 times 7 equals 125. So again, I'm just rewriting 125 in a different way. What's the square root of 25? Well, that's 5. Do we know the square root of 7? Nope. So that's why it's stuck under the radical. Okay, let's try another one. 162. Again, if you have no idea which one of these numbers evenly goes in there, just start at the top. Does 100 go into 162 evenly? No. Does 81? Actually, it does. How many times? twice. Because I know 81 times 2 equals 162. So again, instead of writing 162, I'm going to rewrite it as this. So square root 81 times 2. What is the square root of 81? Well, it's 9 root 2. Okay, my challenge to you is to pause the video right now and try these on your own, right? Because if you just watch me do it, you're probably not going to know how to do it on your homework, because there's still homework tonight. So pause the video. I'm going to do them, but I think you should really try right now, pause the video, and see if you can figure these out on your own. Okay? Did you pause it? I really hope you paused it and tried. Okay. So now I'm thinking, what goes into 117? Well, 9 does. How many times? 13. Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 13, we don't know, so that is as far as we can go. All right, 245, what goes into that evenly? Well, 49 does. How many times? 5. What is the square root of 49? 7. We don't know the square root of 5, so it stays. Oops. Okay. 150, I hope you're thinking of quarters. How many times does 25 go into 150? Well, it goes in there 6 times. Square root of 25 is 5. 6 is not a perfect square, so it is stuck under the radical. This should have been an easy one. Which one of those numbers evenly goes into 300? Well, 100 does. How many times? 3 times. Square root of 100? 10 root 3, because 3 is not a perfect square. 63, again, if you don't know, just use your calculator and see which one works out evenly. But we know that 9 goes in there 7 times. Square root of 9 is 3. 7 is not a perfect square, so it is stuck under the radical. 216, we found that the 36 times 6 also gives me 216. Square root of 36 is 6. 6 is not a perfect square, so it is stuck under the radical. All right, 2 left here. 343. 49 goes into 343. How many times? Well, it goes in there 7 times. Square root of 49 is 7. 7 is not a perfect square, so that one is stuck under the radical. And then this last one's kind of goofy. Again, it ends in a 0, kind of like 50 cents, so I know that 25 goes in there. So how many times does 25 go into 450? Well, 25 goes in there 18 times. Okay, well, we know the square root of 25 is 5, so that gets to come out. But now we kind of have a unique problem. 18 isn't a perfect square. However, I can break 18 down because I know that 9 evenly goes into it. So I'm kind of going to repeat the process again. So the 5 gets to hang out front, but instead of writing 18, I'm going to write it as 9 times 2. Okay, well, we know that the square root of 9 is 3, so 3 gets to come out. Remember, this is just multiplication, so I'm just going to put a dot there. Square root 2, because 2 is not a perfect square, so it has to stay in. And now I'm just going to finish it out. 5 times 3 gives me 15. Radical 2. There is more than one way to do that, but that's the way I chose to do it. I hope we kind of understand this, because for your homework, you'll get 2 sheets. You'll get a yellow sheet and a blue sheet. So let me pull those up for you real quick here. The yellow sheet is the page that you're going to cut. You're going to cut all these individual boxes out like this. And your job is to piece the puzzle together on the blue sheet. The blue sheet is the grid that you'll glue these onto. And I'll help you out. In the most top left corner box, so on your blue sheet, here's your blue sheet, and here's your grid. This top most left box, letter B goes there. So start with that. So your job is to find the pieces that match up. Okay? I hope that kind of makes sense. Help each other out. And if we totally crash and burn, we will figure it out on Tuesday when we are back together. Please be good for the sub. I hope I get a great report back that you guys are awesome. Have a great long weekend, and I will see you on Tuesday.